Tottenham News Today, magnificent. £50 million Tottenham player could be back fit for crucial Aston Villa game. Hello Spurs fans, welcome to the Tottenham News Today channel. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Spurs news. Tottenham may have just been handed a big boost ahead of their incredibly important tie against Aston Villa this weekend. Ange Postecoglou's side head to Villa Park, knowing that a win would completely change the complexion of the race for fourth. That being said, Postecoglou's Tottenham squad is in a strong position injury-wise right now, even if Pedro Porro remains a doubt for the match. And although some will have thought there was no chance of Richarlison featuring for Tottenham against Aston Villa, that may not be the case. Richarlison could return to the squad when Tottenham face Aston Villa on Sunday. Journalist Alistair Gold was speaking on the Golden Guest Talk Tottenham podcast and thought Richarlison had an outside chance. Gold explained that there had been so many different timescales applied to the injury since the news broke, and thought an appearance against Villa wasn't impossible, with all considered. He said, "I'm intrigued to see when he comes back from his injury, because that was one of the big things from the weekend as well. Every single person involved was telling us something completely different. Postecoglou told us 3 to 4 weeks in the press conference ahead of the game, Richarlison's knee injury was going to keep him out. Then he did a Spurs club interview which went out we saw it after the press conference had finished, in that he said 2 to 3 weeks. Then the Brazil manager later that day picked Richarlison in his Brazil squad and said he'll be back next week. Then Richarlison said after the game to a Brazilian journalist from ESPN, "Oh, I'm pretty much back in training now. I'll be back hopefully next week." Which he's then apparently told this Fred guy as well, I think. He then summarised, "I wouldn't be stunned if we saw Richarlison on the bench at Villa Park. I don't think that's out of this world by the way people are talking. But then again, we've also had a lot of players who think they are way further ahead than they are, often with international duty coming up as well to kind of prove a point. Of course, it really would be a huge boost for Tottenham to have magnificent Richarlison back for such a big game against Aston Villa. The likes of Timo Werner and Dejan Kulusevski are performing well alongside captain Son Heung-min, but the £50 million Brazilian often brings some unpredictable brilliance to proceedings. That being said, perhaps even Brennan Johnson, who is also proving to be a difference maker, deserves a start too. Either way, Spurs fans will just be praying for a win to propel their chances of a Champions League return next season.